next, let us look at the peer-to-peer model. So in this case, typically the customers do not want to bother about their inter-site connectivity. If we are talking of a company like, let's say, Reliance, they will have an office in pretty much every single city in India. So it will be difficult for them to kind of build direct communication with all the remote offices. Instead, they are better off taking the service of one service provider who can connect them to all the remote offices. So in this case, what happens is the edge directly exchanges routing information with the customer edge router, and the service provider routers exchange customer routes through the core network. The customer can outsource the routing to the service provider, thus saving cost. Which means here, the concern of the customer is just talking to the service provider, and it is the job of the service provider to build connectivity to all the remote sites. So it is a significant cost savings for the customer because he has to only worry about one link, which is directly talking to the service provider. He doesn't have to worry about talking to the remote sites. That problem and burden becomes that of the service provider. So a typical example when customers would prefer this is when they want to build an extranet kind of a topology, wherein you want two different organizations exchanging common data, or you can build central services extranet where for linking multiple organizations with similar interest. So extranets become a lot more centralized, or you can also use it to build intranet. You can see that there are multiple advantages if you go for the peer-to-peer model, wherein the routing is very simple because the customer is only concerned about exchanging the routing information with one or a few peer routers. If you want redundancy, then you might want to peer with two peer routers, right? And the routing between customer sites is always optimal, as the provider routers know the customer network topology and can thus establish optimum inter-site routing. Basically what this means is that the service provider has good knowledge about the kind of routing traffic within his network, because it is his job to provide the inter-site community. So he can come up with all kinds of optimizations within his network to best leverage the resources that he has. The bandwidth provisioning becomes simpler because the customer has to specify only the inbound and outbound bandwidths for each site and not the exact site-to-site traffic profile. So this is a huge thing in terms of cost for the service provider, because he clearly knows what is the kind of inbound and outbound bandwidth that each site needs. And then addition of new site is simpler because, say, a company buys, company A buys another company B. Now all they have to do is make sure that they are talking to the same service provider. That's all they need to worry about. It will be the job of the service provider to build connectivity across these two. So there again, it's a significant cost advantage for both the customers as well as for the service providers. So that is at a high level about the different models. Now let us get into some of the technical details of how MPLS VPN architecture is implemented in